Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what my actual thoughts are about marriage and how my Indian family and my Indian friends treat marriage and how they think about marriage. This is not normally a video I make, but this has come up a lot for me over the last couple months, so I figured there's probably more of you out there which this has come up for as well, so why not make a video about it and address it out in the open. I want to be clear, the opinions in this video are my opinions, alright? So all this kind of started like 6 months ago when my mom asked me, hey, son, are you thinking of getting married? And now in India, the concept of arranged marriage is quite common. So my mother even asked me, she said, do you want me to find you somebody to get married to? And I politely declined that offer. Well, my mom's not a very pushy person. My parents have always kind of allowed me the freedom to make whatever decisions I want in my life. And she's never going to push me, but she was asking and she was pretty serious. If I had said yes, she would have probably gone out and tried to help me find somebody. I guess in that sense, she will always be an Indian mother, whether she lives in the US or in India, irrelevant. She's always going to be an Indian mother, right? Additionally, my father actually sees it as an issue that I've had multiple serious relationships that have not actually gone anywhere. And while my father's not really a very pushy person either, he also kind of brought to my attention that, hey, you've had multiple relationships and haven't really gone anywhere. All good. The birds in the background agree, right? I've even had a conversation with my grandparents around this. And my grandmother specifically, they seem to think that marriage is almost like a scale on which you decide how successful you are. And if you're married and have kids, that means you're successful. And if you're not married and you don't have kids, it means you don't really have your life on track. It means you don't quite have the game plan all figured out. That's what their definition of success was. So I asked them, I said, why do you have to be married to be successful? Why does this relationship and kids and all of this have to come in with your model of success? And essentially what they said to me was, after a long conversation, what it wound down to was the reason that they thought successful lives have to have marriages and relationships in is because they said what's important is companionship. What's important is in their old age having companionship. Now, this is coming from both my widowed grandmother, so of course they think that companionship is important. But that got me thinking about companionship and how really important is companionship to each of us in each of our lives, and to have that person to kind of walk through life with. That conversation led to me and my grandparents speaking about what exactly companionship meant, and what was companionship versus a relationship, and was it really a relationship or a marriage that somebody needed, or could you just have a companionship? Our models of the world these days are rapidly changing. The way we interact with each other is changing. The way we have relationships is changing. So what may have been true, 50 years ago, 80 years ago in my grandparents' time, where, for example, in typical Indian societies where the woman is at home, kind of like the home caretaker, making sure food is taken care of, make sure the house is clean, things like that, that doesn't exist in today's society anymore. Our model of relationships has changed. The way we interact with each other has changed. No longer is that model of, this housewife and the man's going out and making money and all of that. That's over with. So is relationships really the answer to this ideal life that we have painted for ourselves? I don't know. I didn't seem to think so. Additionally, people in today's society are falling in and out of love all the time. Divorce is more and more common. I remember in the olden days, divorce was almost like oh my God, I can't believe you got divorced. When divorce is more common now, here in India especially. Now in the States, divorce is a little bit more common, it happens much more. In India, not so much. It's almost frowned upon, most looked at like, oh my God, what have you done? But with now people having more polyamorous relationships, more open relationships, the whole concept of love is changing. And as my generation, the millenials as we call them, as we are growing and we are taking up roles in society, we are changing the way relationships are. We're changing the way society interacts with each other, and that's very important. I think in today's world, people don't necessarily want to be tied down to one person. Now, there may still be people who in this world, marriage is the right thing for them, and more power to you. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. There's a lot of people in this world, especially that I've interacted with, that don't think that that's the right answer for them. That think that they don't want to be tied down by one person. They don't want to be the cause for somebody else not following their dreams. Or they don't want to not follow their dreams because somebody else wants to follow their dreams and they want to support them along their journey. There's a lot of sacrifices that people make that people don't make. There are different choices that people make in today's world, especially with everything going meta now. The world as we know it is changing. As we live more in the virtual reality, in the virtual world, our desires, our wants, our needs are changing. And what we needed 50 years ago, 80 years ago, it's not necessarily what we need today. So to sum it up, my thoughts on companionship, my thoughts on marriage, I think marriage is overrated. I think, and having said that, I may get married someday. I don't know. So if my future wife is watching this, I don't know what to tell you, honey. I think marriage is a little overrated. At least those are my thoughts right now, right? Again, these are my thoughts today with the experiences that I've had today. I don't know. These thoughts might change in the future. I think that companionship is important, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a relationship, whether it be something more. Some amount of companionship is important, and I would seek some kind of companionship in my life. I'm blessed enough to not have parents that breathe down my throat and say, you need to get married. And because unfortunately, that is a reality, especially for a lot of people in India and some of my friends that I've spoken to as well. It is as unfortunate as it is, and this is the society that we live in. Who said that the white picket fence, the kids, and all of that is the way to success, is the route to success? Maybe in America that's what they propagate, and that's kind of what everybody sees. And hey, if that works for you, that works for you. I'm just saying that may not be the path for me, and that may not be something that I want to explore. So there's 7 billion of us out there in the world today, at least. There's going to be more as we grow up. I'm sure there's someone out there that could be the right companion for you. I know there's someone out there that's the right companion for me. And whether you think about soulmates or whether you think about the person who you're meant to be with, I think that when you can be who your soulmate needs you to be for them, that's when they'll show up in your life. Maybe you're not who you need to be, who they need you to be, So perhaps the work is to be done on self and not really go out looking. So yeah, I don't know if that answers any of your questions. For any of you who maybe moved to the US, moved back to America, there's a lot more open relationships, polyamory, things like that in America, which you don't quite see as much as in India. So I thought this video might be nice to give a different perspective from somebody who may have moved countries and has a different opinion on things, As far as what my friends think about marriage and things like that, a lot of people even in India think the same way, whether it be my American friends or my Indian friends. I'm noticing that it's not necessarily the fact that I went to a different country that's given a different thought to it. I'm thinking that people from my generation, the educated people who understand society and concepts and the way we function, understand how these things work, and they just simply don't want to have that same lifestyle as, question everything, right? That's what we've been taught. As millennials and as generations to come, that's what we should be taught, to question everything. Don't accept anything at face value. So anyways, with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe down below as well. If you enjoy this kind of content, let me know in the comments so I can make more of this content. If you didn't, well, let me know in the comments as well so I can make more content that you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm on Instagram as well. You can find me right over here. Please do follow me on Instagram. My account got bad, so I'm back to 200 followers now. So give me a follow over there as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.